In this quick video, I want to show you how you can add this copy to clipboard component to any of your Webflow sites. Here's how it works. Right now, my clipboard, I have this column copied, but if I hit this button, I copy the contents I specify. In Webflow, we just add this custom component called Clipboard button. We specify the content, and then we can give the button text name, and that's what copies. So if I do this, this is the content that gets copied, and then this is the button text. So I'll just put here button text here for now. I'll hit save. I'll publish this. Okay, and then when I'm back here, I can refresh. Now you can see that I still have this lorem ipsum in my clipboard, and then if I hit this button, then this is the text that gets copied. Now let's install it into Webflow. We'll go back to our page settings. This is where we import the script. You can find this in the description of this video. We just head over to the body tag and paste this in, and that will install it into the page. Let's start from scratch. I'm going to delete both these things. Then I'm going to add an embed to my page. From here, I will add a clipboard button. This is the component, and then I'll make sure I have a closing tag as well. Clipboard button. Okay, now we need to add a content attribute. So we write content equals, and then this is the content that gets copied. So content to copy. You can put any string in here. This is what gets copied. And then this is the button text. We just write button text in here. We'll hit save and then publish. This is the default component, so it doesn't really match our styles here. So let's see how we can restyle it. Using the inspector, we can look at the contents of this component. If we select it, you'll notice that a lot of the styles use the variables, these variables to style. We can use this to change the styles the way we want them. We'll go back to our page here and we'll add a style tag, the style tag, and then we'll make sure to close it. From here, we want to style this web component. We'll just literally write it like this, and that will target it. I want it to look exactly like the button on my page. So I'm going to select this element so I can see the styles. I will copy this and I'll just paste it in here. How this works is we'll select this button again. It targets the class for the component itself, so button. You can notice the variables start with a button as prepended. What we'll do, we'll just copy this, then we'll prepend by minus minus and then button like this. If we add it to each one of these properties from our button and we hit save and we publish this, then we refresh this page, and now we have this button resembling our styles. We can take it a lot further because there's some things that I want to restyle as well. Let's quickly look at this background here. You can see that it uses a variable primary. These variables are the variables we get from Webflow. If I go to this button, we have a bunch of variables here, secondary, etc. Maybe let's make our button secondary. All we do is we go back into the styles here, and this we want it to be secondary. Also, we maybe want this is a bit harsh. So let's lighten this up, and we want it to follow this pill shape, this rounded shape that everything else on this design has. To do this, we first identify what is it that is creating the style. We see it's this copy link bar. We'll take this, we'll start with the background color. That's probably the easiest. I'm just going to copy this variable, and then I'll go back, and inside the style, I'm going to make it, I think there was so we write there. I'm just going to save this real quick. I think if I go to the styles, variables, here we have a light BG. So maybe we'll use a light BG for this. I'm going to open this again. Then we want light BG. The other thing we wanted, okay, that's secondary. Good. Then, so it's going to be light BG, but we want this border radius. So we can find it here, border radius. And I think the button was 100 pixels. So we'll make that 100 pixels. Then maybe, okay, the spacing seems okay for now. Then I think once the background is light now, we won't be able to read this text. So we want to update this text. Let's select it and see where does this style come from. It's copy link input. We can find the color. This is the color, and we can use this Webflow variable. We set, I think it's called text. Right, now we expect, so I'm going to publish this. We expect a secondary color button. We expect the background of the entire wrapper to be light, the text to be dark. I'm going to go back and refresh. There we go. So now it's using secondary. This looks a bit better, and it matches our design. Okay, we still have this hover. We can change this. Let's open this, and then we click on the hover state, and we see what styles affect the hover state. And maybe we'll do the same for what are the styles that our actual design has. So we'll open this, and the only thing that happens are two things. The opacity goes to 70%, and the background color changes to this. Maybe we'll want the same thing to happen. I think we'll do that. So I'm going to copy this, and back on our page here, this is for the button. So how do we know how to affect the hover state? Well, we'll select this button again, this one, sorry, like this. And we can see that the button is just button hover. So we'll just add button hover. It is --btn and then hover dash again. So now it's going to match the same color. But I also noticed that when we hover it, so like this, it's got a scale. If I just look at, yeah, we can see that it has a transform scale. So let's affect both of these things. So we want to make sure the transform, this transform here has none. We don't want it to scale anything. I'm going to do this and just say none. Let's save this, publish it now, and then if I come back, refresh my page, now our hover is similar to this, right? There's some little details we can fix, sure. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, I think there's a setting that we can remove this icon if you don't need it. If you don't need this icon, let's have a go in here called disable icon. Disable icon, and then we're going to say true. Disable icon set to true. We'll save this and publish. If I refresh this, we remove the icon. It's just a pure button.